Hello, I'm Michael Plumstead. We all know that our bodies have an amazing ability to heal itself and keep our organs in a great state of wellness, and also to prevent disease from entering the body with regards to the immune system. But today I want to talk about cells. Cells regenerate themselves when their life is up or when they get damaged. For example, you cut your hair, okay, and you don't go bald, okay, it grows again for most of us. Similarly, we have experiences of, let's say, cutting our finger and blood coming out, and the body blocks it and heals the scar eventually as well. In fact, we can donate blood, and hey, we don't run out of blood. We don't drain our system from blood. These examples point to the fact that cells have an intelligence, and they also replace themselves. And it makes it abundantly clear that renewal is part of their story. Red blood cells, for example, have a lifespan of probably about 4 months, and then they become new. Now, why am I telling you all this? And that is because if we're getting new cells, which we assume are healthy, so why do we not get well and healthy, stay well with new cells? That's the issue that I want to talk about today. Because if that were the fact, and we all know it's not, we would stay young. So why don't we heal any illnesses? Dr. Deepak Chopra is one of my favorite alternative doctors. And I've read, since I was a youngster, because he's older than I am, his various scientific experiments and exploration into all sorts of scientific fields. And he asked the same question. As I'm asking you now. Why don't we stay young? Why don't we stay healthy? Okay, if our cells are regenerating all of the time. The reason is that unhealthy cells regenerate unhealthy cells. And what causes unhealthy cells? Largely emotions like anger. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about how this happens in the physical body and how cells remember that they're actually unhealthy. The chemicals caused by our emotions like anger are stored within the walls of the cells in our body. When a traumatic event occurs, chemicals called peptides flood into the blood, into the bloodstream, and attach themselves to cell receptors, hindering communication between cells and even the brain itself. If the traumatic memory from these chemically blocked cells is not healed, they end up protecting themselves by cutting off healthy, necessary communication with other cells, including the message that is coming from the soul. Blocked communication cells in the body eventually, over time, lead to the development of physical illness showing up in the body. The negative feelings in these memories cause a healthy cell to replicate, as I said earlier, as an unhealthy cell. which leads to the perpetuation of that emotion like anger, and also the disease that it's going to cause. Scientists, also very interestingly, found that when you choose to express positive, healthy feelings, I call them, well, I think Alatra does too, call them like soul feelings of love, peace, and gentleness. The cell walls respond to these positive emotions, and the communication receptors remain open. They remain healthy, and their life purpose, or your life purpose, comes to fruition through a higher vibration that is then caused and brought on by the soul and the contact with the soul. Our vibrating frequency becomes lower and lower as our ego emotions play havoc. Yeah. And that's what Alatra teaches us a lot about. Because with that havoc in our physical body also comes disease, and all types of diseases. All right, I'm not only talking about painful legs that I write about, but cancer, diabetes, and autoimmune diseases by the dozens. You know, that cancer can only survive in a low frequency cell. Raise the frequency and watch the cancer disappear. But this is more about talking about the anger and the emotions that are sitting in your cell and stay in your cell, and your cells regenerate. When the personality does not choose negative emotions, our physical bodies vibrate in a much greater harmony with our soul, and disease won't hang around in that physical body. You know, Deepak Chopra did a study on patients that had recovered from severe diseases, and he found two things. One was that these, well, they're not patients anymore, these ex-patients, okay, first and foremost, they looked with great sincerity to some form of divine, intelligent, loving source inside of them. And they decided in their own way to communicate with the source. And that was the first thing they found. The second thing is that with authentic intent, they forgave and healed themselves. Those were the two aspects. Now, that's what we're talking about, is if we have those peptides causing havoc through our emotions in our cells, we can also heal it and feel the difference. By adventuring into your inner world with feeling and exploring the heavy, hard, and painful memories and thoughts that are living inside of you, you can tap into your natural ability to heal. The feeling is vital in the process, but we're not going to venture into the how now. The future, in order to avoid the negative storage of peptides causing illnesses, start the process of communicating with your soul and your personality, through your personality. To avoid future negative storage of peptide causing diseases and illnesses, start the process of daily trying to connect to your personality with sincerity, with authenticity. Okay? It's not an academic, mental, egotistical exercise. Okay? And you do this through meditative contemplation. In other words, give yourself daily time out from activity, stress, and thinking and doing. About 10 minutes to 20 minutes every single day. I downloaded an app which helps me just calm myself down, relaxes my body. It talks to me and I follow the instructions, but that's not what I'm talking about. But I find it necessary because I do get very stressed and it's one of my issues. So I allow the app to talk me into quiet, relax the muscles, and then I use the Alatra meditative, the lotus flower meditative process. And you can find this by Googling, if you want the simple version that I use, Google spiritual practice lotus flower. Spiritual practice lotus flower. It's alatra.ca, spiritual practice lotus flower. That will take you to a website that it really explains very simply the process, and that's where I am at the moment with the very simple. Once you start this practice, it starts to liberate negative emotions and memories within a few weeks, depending on your genuine desire and understanding to heal. And it will shift, and our body will begin to heal. And I'm talking from experience now, as I do with all the things I recommend. So then add acknowledgement when something happens, and add gratitude as part of all the soul attributes to your daily life moving forward. This powerful healing is available right now for us to tap into permanently, and to help heal things and help heal patterns that are long held, like anger and resentment and grief. And you'll find that you'll automatically start new feelings of forgiveness, compassion, peace of mind. And the most important thing, the process is free. You don't have to go to a pharmaceutical company and buy some pills. Okay, this you do yourself, and it's free, and it works, and it's permanent. Okay, as long as you keep your personality, okay, in that soul state, and finding the peace. We can find peace with anything. It doesn't matter how horrible we believe someone has been. There's always something else that's been more horrible, or someone else that's been more horrible. The best news is you can heal yourself in the comfort of your own home. There's just no having to go out and go and see a professional. Just expect healing, and show kindness to everybody, and let's all live healthier. In love, with our soul, and move into eternal life. Thank you for listening.